Hey YouTube, it's cecelialane here. Hi, good morning. Please excuse my morning hair. Not that this is so much worse than some of my other videos, but anyways. So today I am coming to you to talk about my good, bad, and ugly of weight loss surgery 6 years out. So I'm gonna get right to it. I think I'll go ahead and start with the good. My self-esteem, number one, has improved dramatically. Prior to the surgery, for as long as I can remember, I had these really mean voices in my head. I guess not voices, but my voice in my head, telling me that I was stupid and ugly and fat and lazy and just all these horrible things. And every time I made a mistake or I failed at something, voices were always there to remind me why. Today, however, not so. And those voices, or that voice, went away probably about 6 months to a year from my surgery date. They just got quieter and quieter and eventually completely disappeared. The other great thing about this surgery is that even though I have regained 40 pounds, the voices haven't come back. I still am much more positive. I'm much nicer to myself, and I don't criticize myself the same way that I did before. I am certainly disappointed at times in myself. However, I know that all I need to do is make different choices going forward, and I'll get to wherever it is that I want to be, and I can continue to improve. Much less likely to settle. Wow. And I hear this all the time in videos where people say, like, I can't go back now to how I used to be. It's just not acceptable. And the funny part is, before we had the surgery, we were willing to accept. My husband and I, our relationship has changed drastically over the last 6 years. Uncomfortably so for him in many ways. Because I'm just not putting up with this shit anymore. I mean, things that I used to let go, I don't let go anymore. As a result, our communication has improved dramatically, and I think we have a much stronger relationship, but it has definitely been a serious strain on our relationship, and we have had to continue to work hard and persevere and want to make this work in order for us to get past, those different milestones, because it has been challenging. Also changed, how I am in my work life, the kind of friends that I choose to hold on to. I've lost a lot of really good friends that I realized weren't really good friends. We may have been friends for 20, 30 years, but yeah, I was constantly getting the short end of the stick and being treated unfairly. And after the surgery, I just wasn't having that anymore, because I felt like I was worth having great people around me, and I didn't need to surround myself with anybody negative or that was bringing me down or making me feel less than. And so the people that I'm friends with now are so vastly different and wonderful, and I'm just attracted to different kind of people now. I'm attracted to happy people who are productive and positive and have a wonderful spirit, beautiful spirit inside, and who really make me feel good, and I hope I make them feel good too when I spend time with them or talk to them. Excuse me. Seems like after weight loss surgery, we burp a lot. Just a little sidebar. I know I'm on the good right now, and that's not a good thing, but I realized from watching my videos, I burp a lot. I'm like, okay, sorry, derail. Prior to weight loss surgery, I didn't really pay attention to my eating, and when I was full, I didn't take any time with it. I never sat my fork down between bites. Didn't notice anything with my stomach. Only way I knew that I was full was because I was fucking miserable. Like, whoa. And weight loss surgery has given me that gift. Even with me having gained the 40 pounds in the last year and a half, I still have a much greater awareness. And it's not that I'm consuming so much food in one sitting, it's that I eat, too often throughout the day, and then my choices have been really bad, really, really bad. And then the lack of exercise. So the awareness, though, has stayed with me, and I'm really grateful for that. Um, and I hope that that's changed forever for me. Taking better care of yourself. Wow, I'm not looking like it right now, but I did just wake up. um, but even so, actually, tell you the truth, since I regained, my self-care has definitely dropped drastically. First of all, 99% of my clothes do not fit me, and I've had to buy a couple of new things. I refuse to buy a whole bunch. Just, I'm not going there. I wear leggings and comfortable tops and undershirts like all the time, and my hair is rarely ever done anymore. But when I had weight loss surgery and I had gone down, man, I look good as fuck, like all the time. Oh my gosh. And it was so much fun to get dressed every day and to look in the mirror, and I just felt so beautiful inside and out. And that really makes a difference in terms of self-care. Number 5, greater empathy for others. So I noticed this really comes with time. It's taken a couple of years for me to get off my high horse after weight loss surgery and come back down to earth. Having that understanding of, what we go through mentally over time, and the toll that it takes on our families and our relationships. But at the same time, how it uplifts us and strengthens us and helps us understand ourselves. And that just brings, I guess, a higher sense of self-awareness. And as a result, a higher level of empathy and greater kindness. I'm so much less likely to criticize or judge somebody, whereas I might have made a snap judgment 6-10 years ago about somebody. I'm much more inclined now to say, hey, I know from experience now, there's a million things that could have contributed to that person responding such way at that time, etc. Plus, I've realized, we all have the capacity to be bad and good. As you get older, you simply make a choice to try and be as good as possible. Some people never make the choice, and so they're always conflicted or they're always leaning on the bad side. But I really believe that in the general goodness of people. Nobody really enjoys hurting other people. You hurt people because you're lashing out because you're hurt. Number 6. People see you first and not your fatness. I know I've said this before, but that's an amazing feeling. And that's something that I miss right now, because I feel like people are seeing more the heavy me right now rather than me. And when I was slender, I just presented as cecelialane. And, it I don't know, there's something about being overweight that like puts this automatic barrier up with a lot of people that you meet. And it's like they interact with you from that moment on with this awareness of your weight or something. And maybe it's just in my head. Maybe it is. Sometimes it probably is, but I know sometimes it's not, because I've been on the other side too, and I've seen the difference in how people relate to me and treat me. And lastly is, of course, shopping in normal stores. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Just shopping in general. Amazing. And I miss that so much, although it's probably a good thing that I'm not right now, because I spent a lot of money shopping. I mean, a lot. My husband clearly adores me because he has forgiven so many unscheduled shopping sprees that God love that man. He's really stuck with me through thick and thin, literally. All right, so now we're going to start with the bad. All right. Oddly enough, even though this has severely affected me, I have never commented much at all on this previously. But I was one of those VSGers who vomited a lot. Still, it wasn't until like year 4, 3.5, 4, that I stopped vomiting so much, and it was more an occasional thing. And I think the reason why I downplayed it was so easy. It was not painful, it was not uncomfortable, and if I felt sick, all I really had to do was lean over and do the muscles in my throat, and it would just come right back out. So because I vomited so much, it was like I was bulimic for years. And it eroded my teeth like you would not believe. And I am paying the price now. My teeth break off when I eat anything hard. I can't eat any like chewy candy, because literally I will chew it and a piece of my tooth will come out with it. I keep having to have teeth pulled out because of it. I'm gonna end up with no teeth. See that? Ruined my teeth. I have teeth. This tooth I knocked out when I was like 10, playing basketball with my brothers. Thanks, brothers. Prior to weight loss surgery, I could not throw up for the life of me. I was one of those people that I would just feel miserable for hours because it was so hard for me to throw up. I remember when I was younger trying to be bulimic. What kind of dumbass? Anyways, and I could never be bulimic because I couldn't make myself throw up. Nothing would come up. I'd be digging down there and it just never worked. So I gave up on the dream of bulimia. Thank God. However, unfortunately, that dream became a reality in a sense after my weight loss surgery, because throwing up was just so easy. And in the very beginning, it was not just easy, I couldn't stop it. Like, it would just come up on its own. There's no way that I was going to be able to. And if I burped or coughed, it would come up at all. Number 2, food sensitivity. So my food sensitivity has improved drastically, obviously 6 years out, but I've been very sensitive over the years to lots of foods. Anything high in fat, especially if it also had sugar and carbohydrates in it too, that was like off of my list for the first 3 years. I couldn't tolerate it at all. That was instant throw up. And super nausea too. And probably a little pootie also. Hamburger and steak. I don't think I could eat a hamburger made of beef for the first 3.5 years. And if I tried to eat one, oh my gosh, I had to chew like crazy. I watched some people's videos and they talk about, they can eat chili or hamburger meat or whatever like 3 weeks out, 3 months out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I couldn't handle anything like that. I was very sensitive to the texture of foods. I still am. I just don't run into it so much anymore because I cook a lot at home and I know that everything has to be really moist for me. If it's on the dry side or overcooked, it's gonna get stuck, even today. Shrimp is something I've had trouble with at times, especially if it's on the drier side, because it's like you chew it and it just crumbles up. It doesn't really disintegrate like other things. And so that was a real no-no for me. Salad was difficult for a long time. I love salad. And even now, I can't eat that much of it in one sitting. There's something about it that just like bloats me up. Cereal with milk, forget about it. I still like cereal, like Special K red berries, but I eat it without milk 99% of the time, even today, 6 years out. Another bad, number 4, doesn't fix your life. It's not a magic pill. Wow, I talked about this before in my last video, and I just have to re-emphasize this again because I see so many people going through the same stuff, or, you know, commenting after they've had the surgery that, wow, my life is still the same shitty life I had before, or the same boring ass life I had before. Everything is not blah blah because I am skinny. And that is so true. I think a lot of times we go into things with expectation that it's going to change our life. Something that I've learned, just generally speaking, especially over the last 6 years, is about trying to live in today, in the moment. It's very common sometimes for us to get caught up in what's happening ahead or what we think or anticipate or hope will happen in the future, and to be like holding on to that and thinking to ourselves, when I get there, then I'll be happy. When I get married, when I find somebody to love me, when I have a kid, you know, you're just like all focused on that. Everything will be fine. When I'm finally able to buy a house, when really it's right now. Right now is the great day. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not a year down the line, not when I finally have the revision, or I finally get my raise, or I finally start my own business. It's today. And I think that's where that idea comes from, that we'll have the surgery and things will be better. Things won't be better. It's us that makes each and every day better, and that's what we have to focus on. And we're so lucky to wake up each morning and have an opportunity to make today great. I really think that the surgery, along with my age, has brought that to the forefront to me and made me realize that it's today that I should be living for. Yes, that is a wonderful gift. But that is a bad thing about the surgery, in the sense that you can have this anticipation that things are going to get better, and I promise you the surgery is not going to make anything better except your health. But it won't even make that better unless each day you're doing what you need to be doing to make yourself healthy. So just losing the weight, just like there are fat healthy, I mean skinny healthy. There are fat healthy people and there are skinny unhealthy people. So getting skinny and losing the weight doesn't make you healthy if you're still participating in old bad habits, or you're transferring your addictions, which is my next point. Addiction transfer. Who's dealt with that? Okay. Me. Yes. So here's the thing. Everybody is an addict in my mind. I watch my husband, and that man exercises like crazy. He is definitely addicted to exercise. Some people are addicted to crafting. Some are addicted to shopping. The key is there are healthy addictions called hobbies, and then there are unhealthy addictions called addictions. I have definitely participated in many unhealthy addictions. I transferred my addiction to food to shopping and spent a ginormous amount of money for that 4 or 5 years after my surgery. I transferred my addiction to food to my narcotics for comfort when my mom was dying, and I felt like I couldn't handle it. And so, because I could not eat the way that I used to comfort myself, I ended up using the pills. I still don't have an addiction to exercise, damn it. Why can't I catch that addiction? Like, really, that would be very helpful. I'd like that. If anybody knows where I can buy that addiction, I will be the first to sign up, okay? Thank you. All right, next one. Emergency pootie potty. Oh my gosh. My first 4.5 years, every time I had to pootie potty, it was an emergency. And that's what I would call it. I wouldn't tell my friends or my family that I had to pootie potty. I would be like, emergency, emergency, I have an emergency. Because if I did not make it to the toilet, and that happened once, maybe twice, the outcome was not good, okay? So just suffice to say, I needed to make it to the potty. It was an emergency. Have to get there now. Definitely a negative for me. Because nobody likes to shit their pants. Oh, false sense of invincibility. Oh my goodness. So this is a good one upon reflection. So being 6 years out, I can see that I went through a serious false sense of invincibility. Like, I'm not going to regain this, and why is it so hard for other people? And that goes back to the empathy thing and being nice and kind. You know, this is so simple and easy, and I don't have to exercise, and I got this. I'm the shit. I'm the girl. I got it. Yeah, no, none of it was true. All a lie. I don't know what was up in that head of mine, but I got a little too happy with myself and a little too comfortable, and here I am 40 pounds later. In other words, my fat smacked me in the face. Woke my ass up big time. We are not invincible. It will not always be so easy. It will not always not matter if we eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we still lose weight. All that shit goes to the wayside, and you end up where I am if you have that attitude. And unfortunately, I did have that attitude. And what can I say? I just got to move on from that and learn from my mistake, and hopefully this time around not take it all for granted. And I think the ways that I took it for granted before, I didn't realize. Like, I was very thankful about the surgery and everything, but I took it for granted that I would keep the weight off and that it would always be easy, and you know, things like that, and that all it took was just a little tweak and I took off that pound or two that I had put on. It's not like that anymore. And it's really humbled me to the process and helped me appreciate that much more the gift that I was given, and hopefully the gift that I'll be given again. I'm just really hoping that I take advantage of it and that I don't get too high on my horse. Superiority period. Yes, that kind of goes with the false sense of invincibility. And I'm going to say, you know, there are a lot of veterans who are 2 years out, 3 years out, and even people who are now on the losing side, and they're not that far out, and they're like, oh yeah, this is easy and I'm never gonna do it again. And we spout, you know, all this stuff about you can't stretch out your sleeve. I mean, just all this data that's not really data. That's all these facts that aren't actually factual, because we're too early on in the process to have the um, ability to look back and reflect and see what really transpires um, over time. And so we get this like superiority complex. So then when we go on forums or we're in videos, we can be really, really mean to people. This individual really wanted to eat something. And we have a lot of issues that go along with our being obese, issues with food. And so that it's hard to just be like, ta-da, all gone, I'm all better, and now I think totally differently about food and everything's changed. It doesn't work like that. And for some of us, it's even more of a struggle than others. And this girl was really struggling and said, hey, you know, can I do such and such whatever? The other day I ate a strawberry and something else, and they were just fine. And man, the veterans lit into her ass, even the non-veterans, you know, the diehards. And wow, really harsh, really mean, in my opinion. I know that they were trying to be helpful, but it came off as just really critical and mean. And I think that when people are expressing a desire for help, we can word things in such a way that we're not being so mean and it's not so harsh. It's not necessary to cut somebody down and say things like, what the hell are you doing eating strawberries a week out? You could kill yourself. That is so stupid. I don't even know what you're thinking about. Sorry about that. Ran out of recording time, and so I had to go back, edit my video down so that I could complete the video. I was saying how people were really harsh to others, veterans and people who are on the losing side of things, because we get this like superiority complex thing going. And I really feel like it took me until I got to about 4 or 5 years out, and I had to start working at maintaining. And then of course when I really started struggling and gaining such like that, for me to get the humility that I needed and the understanding to come back to me and say, hey, there is nothing superior about me here. Nothing at all. I am just like everybody else, even when it comes to this. So it just really opens your eyes, and hopefully maybe, you know, some people who are going through that phase will cut their phase a little short after hearing this, and this will hit home with them and they can start to have a little more empathy and kindness for other people and those people's struggles. So that's pretty much it for me. I'm already almost 30 minutes in, and that makes this a pretty long video. But I really wanted to take the time to do this, to let some newbies know what had gone on with me, what it's like 6 years out. I know people always wonder, you know, upon reflection, what do you see now? And this is what 6 years has given me, the knowledge that I've gained. And the best knowledge, best wisdom that you can ever gain is humility and the realization that you never stop learning. Life is about always learning every single day, and making sure that you're receptive and open to that learning. So here's to learning and getting better every day and being kind. Until next time, YouTube. Thank you everybody for watching.